I never imagined that one strange request from my husband would lead us on a journey that tested our trust, reshaped our love, and ultimately made our marriage stronger than ever. My name is Emily Parker, and I live in Austin, Texas with my husband, Daniel. We've been married for 7 years, and in many ways, we've lived a picture-perfect life, steady jobs, a warm house, supportive friends, and dreams that seemed to align effortlessly. But even the most solid foundations sometimes reveal cracks, and sometimes the most unexpected events bring out truths we didn't know we were ready to face. Chapter 1. A Quiet Life with Hidden Restlessness. Daniel was always the kind of man people admired. He was confident without arrogance, kind without weakness, and disciplined in everything he did. He worked as an architect, and I worked as a high school literature teacher. Our life was filled with routine, mornings of hurried breakfasts, evenings of soft conversations, weekends of errands, and once-a-month getaways to nearby towns. I loved him deeply, but in the quiet corners of our marriage, I sometimes sensed a distance. It wasn't that Daniel loved me less, it was that he carried within himself a restlessness, a questioning spirit, as though he was searching for something unnamed. It became more noticeable after our 7th anniversary. One evening, as we sat in our living room with the soft hum of the ceiling fan above us, Daniel turned to me with an expression I had never seen before. His eyes were both serious and uncertain. "Emily," he began, his voice low, "I've been thinking about something, and I don't know how you'll react." I set my book aside and gave him my full attention. "You can tell me anything," I said, believing it fully. He hesitated, then said words that seemed to hang in the air like a puzzle I couldn't solve. "I want to see how far we can go, how strong our trust really is. I want to ask you for something unusual, something that will challenge us." Chapter 2. The Strange Request. At first, I thought he was joking. Maybe he wanted us to go skydiving, or travel across the country without a plan. But his next words stunned me. "I want you," he said slowly, "to spend time with 2 other men. Not in the way you think," he added quickly when he saw my expression. "But to let them court you, show interest in you, and for me to see how it affects us. I need to understand, if love is just possession, or if it's something greater." My heart skipped. A flood of emotions filled me: confusion, hurt, fear, and strangely, curiosity. "You're asking me to pretend to love someone else? To test us?" I whispered. Daniel nodded, his face etched with sincerity. "Not love them, but interact with them. Let them try, and I'll watch, not because I don't trust you, but because I want to see love in its rawest form. I want to face my jealousy, my fears. And I want to see you through someone else's eyes." It sounded absurd, even dangerous. But there was no malice in his request, only vulnerability. He wasn't daring me to betray him, he was daring himself to confront his insecurities. Chapter 3. Wrestling with the Decision. That night, I couldn't sleep. His words replayed in my head. Was this insanity, or was it a rare form of honesty? Part of me wanted to dismiss it outright. But another part remembered the restlessness in him, the need to prove something to himself. Over the next week, Daniel explained further. He had already chosen 2 men he trusted: Michael, his old college friend now living in Dallas, and Ethan, a colleague from his architecture firm. "They know about this?" I asked, incredulous. "No," Daniel said firmly. "They'll only see you as yourself. You don't need to do anything except be you. I'll observe from the background." It still felt insane. Yet, deep down, I realized this wasn't about betrayal. It was about confrontation, confronting fears that lay hidden in all marriages. Could we love without chains? Could trust withstand temptation? Could vulnerability heal restlessness? Finally, against all instinct, I agreed. Chapter 4. Meeting Michael. Our first test began with Michael in Dallas. Michael was charming, witty, and had the kind of easy smile that drew people in. He invited me for coffee when Daniel casually introduced us at a gathering. As we sat across from each other in a bustling cafe, I kept reminding myself, this isn't real, this is part of Daniel's request. But Michael treated me with genuine interest, asking about my teaching, my passions, even my childhood dreams. I felt flattered, but not shaken. For every compliment he gave me, my heart compared it to Daniel's. Yes, Michael was engaging, but he wasn't Daniel. He didn't know the small details, how I liked my tea, how I hummed when I cooked, how I cried during certain movies. Later that evening, Daniel asked, "What did you feel?" I looked him in the eye and said, "I felt seen. But not known. And love is more than being seen, it's being known." For the first time in weeks, Daniel smiled with relief. Chapter 5. Ethan's turn. The second part of the request involved Ethan, Daniel's colleague. Unlike Michael, Ethan was reserved, thoughtful, and carried himself with quiet confidence. We met at a gallery opening, where he spoke passionately about art and architecture. Ethan had a way of making silence comfortable. When he looked at me, it was as though he was reading between my words, hearing what I didn't say. For a moment, I wondered, what if I had met Ethan before Daniel? Would things have been different? But then, as the thought flickered, I remembered Daniel's face the first time he confessed his love to me in college. I remembered the way he held my hand when my father died. I remembered the countless little sacrifices he had made without complaint. No, Ethan could never replace Daniel. He could admire me, even fascinate me, but he didn't anchor me. My heart was already home. Chapter 6. The breaking point. After weeks of these tests, I could see Daniel struggling. He tried to appear calm, but I saw the tension in his jaw, the sleeplessness in his eyes. One night, he finally broke. "I thought I could handle it," he confessed, his voice shaking. "I thought watching would make me stronger. But it only made me realize how much I fear losing you." Tears filled my eyes. "Daniel," I whispered, taking his hands, "you don't need to test love. Love is proven every day in the way we choose each other, again and again." He collapsed into my arms, the restlessness finally spilling out. "I'm sorry," he murmured. "I just needed to know if our love was unshakable. And now you know," I said softly. Chapter 7. A stronger love. From that night on, things changed. Daniel no longer carried the same restlessness. He had looked his fears in the eye and realized love was not fragile, it was resilient, unyielding, alive. Our marriage didn't just return to normal, it grew deeper. He admired me more, and I respected his honesty. We learned to talk openly about our insecurities, our needs, our vulnerabilities. Months later, as we celebrated our 8th anniversary, Daniel raised a toast in front of our friends and said words that made me tear up. "To love that doesn't need tests, because it survives every storm on its own." Epilogue. Sometimes the strangest requests lead us to the deepest truths. My husband's unusual challenge was never about betrayal, it was about fear, trust, and the courage to face the unknown. In the end, we discovered what we had always known but never fully understood, that real love isn't about possession, nor about perfection. It's about the quiet, daily choice to hold on, no matter what. And that choice, Daniel and I continue to make, today, tomorrow, and for all the years to come.